Hello, welcome to my channel. If you are here for some tea, a little story time on some of my craziest nights out here in Vegas, you're in the right place. So let's get into it. Okay, so pardon everything, the hair, the background, all this. I'm 26 weeks pregnant and it's getting more and more difficult to do like basic tasks, so please bear with me. I'm probably gonna be out of breath while filming this video as well, so yeah. Okay, so I went on Instagram and I asked a question. I said, you know, if we've had a wild night out in Vegas, please let me know, like write it in the little question box and I'll talk about it. I said I'm not going to talk about names or anything like that, but I might make up a name for the sake of context. So, starting with the first one. Oh, did you stay for a bit when we did the LOL segment on the podcast? That was a night. LOL was Lovers or Losers. It was a show that I was in downtown Vegas. And oh, just want to talk about this real quick. I got these off of Amazon, and it's weird that it came in a beauty blender bag because they're not beauty blenders. They're just, you know, the little, this is my old one. I used them all up, but they're just little sponges. I think I got like 15 of them or so. I'll link them in my description if I remember. Hopefully I remember. Please excuse my hair. Anyways, no, I did not stay for that night. I heard all about it and I'm really jealous that I didn't get to go because I heard it was a lot of fun. And I think everybody said they ended up going to Rebar, which is a popular bar here in the Arts District in Vegas. And yeah, it just sounded like a whole lot of fun and I'm bummed that I didn't get to go. So no, unfortunately, I was not there for that night. Next question. Jumping on private jets to Denver. Okay, that's not like really a wild night. That was kind of like a spontaneous weekend thing. One of my friends got invited on a private jet to go to Denver with this guy and she was afraid to go alone, and so she's like, do you think he'll let you guys come with me? And I'm like, I don't know, ask him if your two friends can go. And so she did and he was like, yeah, totally. And so the three of us jumped on a private jet to Denver, hung out at the lake house, and funny enough, that was how, it wasn't that weekend, but that was how I met my husband. We, you know, it wasn't the last time we stayed at that lake house. So like me and my friend had gone back to, you know, to do some work in Denver, like some promo modeling. And we stayed at the lake house once again, and my husband was the owner of the house's roommate. And that's how we met. So very glad that that actually happened. Like, how crazy is that? That a random spur of the moment trip potentially helped me find my husband. So that's protocol. The night we all left separately. Okay. Well, if you know, you know. But this was, I believe, on a First Friday. First Friday is a thing that the Arts District does where they feature local artists and they all have booths and there's street food and street vendors and art, and it's really fun. But it happens the first Friday of every month, and I think this was like a year ago. Me and a few friends, we all went to First Friday and things got crazy because, you know, we started drinking at a bar because we were waiting for everybody to get there, and then once everybody got there, then we started like getting street vendor drinks, and then we went to a restaurant, got drinks, then we went to a hotel, casino, got drinks, and we were just all 3 sheets to the wind. And all of a sudden I noticed my husband was gone, and I don't remember if my phone was dead. That's what it was. My phone was dead, and so the other friends that we were with, I think they got into an argument, and I was just like, I'm not dealing with this. So I went to go try and find a phone charger and couldn't find one like in any of the hotels. So I went to a taxi cab driver and I was like, do you have an iPhone charger? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, if I can charge my phone, because I couldn't call an Uber or anything like that, you know? So I was like, if you let me charge my phone, I'll transfer, because I needed to transfer money. That's something my husband always like laughs at me about. Because I try to save, you know, so I have 2 accounts. I try to like transfer money when I need it, you know? And I needed to transfer money so that I could pay for my taxi cab ride home. And I told him, I was like, if you let me use your phone charger, I'll pay you for this cab ride, you know? Which of course I should anyways, but it was like, anyways, yeah, so we all, and I guess my friends that had gotten into an argument, they both left separately. My husband, I think he like just took off walking somewhere and then eventually called an Uber and came and picked him up. But in like a really sketchy part of town, he told me like, yeah, like he was like, I shouldn't have done that, but he's like, I needed to, I was too drunk, I needed to walk it off. And I was like, okay. So everyone was fine. We all made it home safe. We just all left separately. Which I think is sometimes needed, you know? Sometimes you just need to be like, okay, I'm tapped out, I'm done, good night. Oh my gosh, bringing random Montana guys home just to smoke weed and have them leave. This was a long time ago. I don't even like really remember how this happened. Yeah, I don't really remember like when. Well, it was when I was living by myself, which is very brave of me. But they were from Montana. I don't know. I just like, I'm from Idaho, so whenever I meet somebody from like Washington, Oregon, Montana, I'm always like, yeah, you know, I just feel this like camaraderie. And plus I have a lot of family from Montana. My mom grew up in Montana. So it's just a very like, I just trust them. You know, it's like Canadians, you know, everybody says Canadians are like super nice. Oh, my boss just texted me and asked if I wanted Starbucks. Yes. Yum. So anyways, yeah, Montanans I consider to be like Canadians. They're just very nice and trustworthy, even though I know not everybody is trustworthy. Even if they're from Montana, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so I remember, I don't even know, was I by myself or was my friend with me? I don't know. If you remember this, text me, DM me, just so I know that I wasn't alone. I don't think I was alone. Sorry. I don't think I was alone, but yeah, I don't think I was alone. I think I had a friend with me, so I wasn't completely like crazy. But yeah, like we went to the club one night and came back to my apartment, and then because, you know, like I don't really like to drink that much. Well, I'm pregnant now, so I'm not drinking at all. But either way, like even when I wasn't pregnant, I just really don't like to get drunk. I don't like the feeling of being drunk. I don't like puking. I don't like being sick. I don't like any of that. So I would just rather smoke weed. Weed is legal here in Nevada, so I am allowed to do that. I don't think it was legal at the time though. But that's besides the point. So I remember I think we just met these random Montana guys and hit it off. And they were like, do you know where we can get weed or something like that? And I was like, oh, well, at my house, I have weed in my apartment and I don't live that far from here, because at the time I lived pretty close to the Strip. So it was like a quick Uber ride, even though I don't even think we had Uber then either. So I think it was a cab ride. It was a quick cab ride to my apartment, and then we went on the roof of my apartment building, because I lived in like a mid-rise building. It was like a big box, like big cement brick box, and you could go, I think there was like 12 floors, and you could go up to the 12th floor and then take the stairs up to the roof. And then once you got out on the roof, there were huge walls, you know, but there had to be like a little room for the staircase, you know, and somebody had left a ladder up there. So you could put a ladder on top of the room for the stairwell, and you could climb to the top and you could see the whole strip. It was so cool. Honestly, it was such a cool thing. Like, I loved it, but it was probably not very safe because, you know, you shouldn't be like up that high, especially like drunk and whatever. But no, it was like one of the coolest things. And I remember these guys were like, whoa, this is so dope, this is so cool. And yeah, we all just sat up there and smoked, and then they left. And I know I'm very, very, very lucky because that could have turned out completely differently, but like I said, like, I just had this gut instinct. I just like trusted these guys, which is crazy. Like, Kelsey, like, people, if you're in Vegas and like some people are like, let's go smoke weed in my apartment, I think that through, you know, but I don't know, as a girl being like, come to my apartment, I'm sure they were like, okay. But then, like, I know I'm like kind of putting myself in danger at that point, but like I said, I didn't feel, because they were like my age, we were young. I think I was like maybe 22, 23, you know. I just like, you just like have a feeling about people, you know. So yeah, that's odd. Okay, next story, primes. And if you know, you know. This was another crazy night out. I have a feeling this might have been that night that I took the guys home from Montana, but I'm not sure. We went to Hakkasan when it had like first opened. It was like a brand new club, and I had like I said, I don't like to drink that much. I mean, I will, but then I'll get drunk and I just don't like, I don't know, I just don't like feeling drunk. And so we were in the club, I think we had a table, and so we were all like just really drunk, and I asked the wrong person if they wanted to go get high. I was so smashed, and I was like, do you got any weed? Let's go smoke weed. Do you want to go smoke? Let's go smoke. And I asked a security guard. I was like, hey, because it's so dark in there, you can't see, you know? And I was like, hey, let's go smoke. You want to go get high? Come on. And I was just being obnoxious about it. And he goes, yeah, let's go. Come on, let's go smoke. And I was like, no fucking way. And he's like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, okay. So me and all of my girlfriends, I'm like, come on guys, we're gonna go smoke, let's go. And the security guard leads us right out of the club. And then the one outside puts big X's on our hands, like we cannot get back in. And yeah, we got kicked out. That's my bad. And then one of my friends was like, I'm calling the cops, you can't do this, you can't kick us out, you can't not let us back in. And we're all just so smashed. I just remember her like pretending to, I think she actually did dial 911. But we're at the freaking entrance of the club and being just obnoxious and rude and like, you have to let us back in, blah blah blah. And it's like, girls, just go home. Just go home, you know. And yeah, so that was that night. I don't remember much after. Oh, the primes. The whole reason we said primes. We were walking like back to get a ride, you know, to go home. And one of my friends was like, we are prime grade A meat. Never catch us slipping with a fatty. Which now it's like, you know, we love all body shapes and sizes, but at the time it was just funny because she's like, we are prime grade A meat. Like, prime rib, pretty much. So from then on, we just called ourselves the Primes. And yeah. Oh man, the shit you do when you're like young and 21 in Vegas, like that was just a crazy night. Okay, next story. We were buzzed at work on the strip and got arrested, and you were so mean to the cops. Well, I think they deserved to be a little like reprimanded because yes, we were a little buzzed. They didn't know that though. They didn't know we were buzzed. But we got, okay, so little background history on me. I used to work as a street performer on the strip, and I started off as a showgirl, and then I did like Playboy Bunny and Sexy Cop. And you work for tips out there, so it's not like you can't charge people, and that's where a lot of people get in trouble is if you're charging people, then you need a business license, whereas if you're just taking donations, you don't need a business license. So we were just working for tips, and you know, that's how it goes. And one year, well actually it's almost like every year I feel like this happens, the cops come out and they start doing like sweeps, and they try to like catch people either charging, or they try to catch registered sex offenders taking pictures with kids and stuff like that. It sounds really sketchy, but honestly, like, I loved it. It was one of the most fun jobs that I've ever worked. It taught me so much about being an entrepreneur, and like, honestly, I loved it. Like, I would totally, if I could do it again, like, I totally would. But anyways, these cops were coming out doing sweeps. We had seen them a bunch before, and it was just like, you know, we like kept to ourselves, and that was it. So one night, I mean, we probably should have just gone home because these cops were literally standing right in front of us, and we were dressed as like sexy cops, so I think they like were kind of upset about that, you know. It was just like they're just being jerks at this point. But we took a picture with this one guy. He tipped me, and I asked him, oh, do you have a tip for my friend? And he's like, oh, I already gave her something. And I'm like, okay, cool, thank you so much, have a great night. Literally, the cops come up behind me and handcuff me, and I'm like, what am I being detained for? Why am I being detained? And they wouldn't answer me. They handcuffed my friend. She's asking the same thing, why are we being arrested? They're not answering. They just literally came up and put handcuffs on us, which I feel like is so illegal. This is what makes me so mad about this. Like, why you can't just like put handcuffs on somebody for no reason, you know? And they take us over to the cop car and start deciding what they're gonna ticket us for, or what they're gonna arrest us for. And it's just so frustrating because it's like you handcuff us first and then decide, oh, well, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna arrest them for? Or what are we gonna get them for? It's like, this is the problem with law enforcement in America, is they act first, think later, you know? So anywho, we didn't have our IDs on us because we left them in our cars, which were upstairs at Planet Hollywood in the parking garage. Like, we didn't really take much with us when we went out there. It was usually just like our keys, our phone, and some lip gloss, you know? It was like we never really brought much. And yeah, so the cops, they wrote us a ticket for obstructing the sidewalk, but because we didn't have our IDs on us, they had to take us into the station to positively identify us. They're like, we just don't know that you are who you say you are, and blah blah blah. And even though we're giving them all true information, they still just don't believe us. And I'm like, come with me to my car upstairs. And they're like, how do we know that's your car? And it's like, my name is on the registration. I have the key. That's my car. Like, they were just being such dicks about it. And so I was being a dick straight back. I'm really not that, like, fuck off. Like, you guys are, you literally just handcuffed me out of nowhere for no reason. And yeah, so anywho, My friend ended up fighting it, which I feel like I should have fought it, but I didn't. I just paid the ticket. It was $250, which was what we had made that night. I'm like, of course, the money that we make that night all goes to paying this ticket. But yeah, it was just super frustrating, and I don't really think I went out after that. Like, honestly, it might have been a good thing because it kind of made me think like, okay, well, you've been doing this for, I think at that point I had been doing it for like 5 or 6 years, you know? And it's like, you've been doing this for so long. Maybe it's time to like kind of refocus and think about another career path or something like that. So yeah, in a way I'm thankful that it happened, but at the same time it's still like really messed up. Like, that's not okay for a cop to just come up and arrest you and then decide what they wanted to arrest you for, you know? Anywho, that was that. Oh my gosh. Parkway, our 2 girls got kicked out and we found them in the parking lot. Yeah. Okay, I don't even remember what we were there for. I feel like it was somebody's birthday. But Parkway, if you're not from Vegas, Parkway is a pretty popular bar. I think there's multiple locations. We were at like the main location, which is off of Tropicana. And oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this. But now I like remember it so clearly. So yeah, I don't remember what they got kicked out for, but me and one of my friends, we were like ready to leave because it was getting to the point where it's like, okay, I'm ready to go, she's ready to go. The music wasn't that great. Like, I'm ready to go home and smoke and go to bed, you know? But we leave because, you know, our friends we thought had left too. I honestly, I don't really remember this. I mean, I kind of do. Now that, like, when my friend brought that up just now, like, I kind of, like, I remember the climax of it. But I don't remember much before because this was a while ago. But, yeah, I feel like we were there for somebody's birthday. Anyways, 2 of our friends got kicked out, and when me and my friend were leaving, like, we were getting ready to go, and we like went to the parking lot, and these 2 friends that we thought had left were having a moment in the parking lot, like between cars. And I don't know, it was just one of those things where you're like, holy crap, like, didn't know there was something going on between you 2. But get down on your, you know. But yeah, that was an interesting night. I'm sure my friend who wrote that, she remembers a lot more than I do. But yeah, I just remember like when everything came to a head and we were like, oh, someone's getting head. When you drunkenly threw up on the floor at an IHOP at 2 a.m. See, this is another one. I'm like, crap, I barely remember this. But I do remember it was an IHOP by my house at my old apartment that I was talking about. There was an IHOP pretty close to it. I feel like it was in the morning though. For some reason, I don't feel like it was at night. I feel like it was like the next morning, you know? But we went to IHOP and I was feeling really sick. Maybe this was the Primes night, I don't know. But yeah, I was feeling really sick, and I think we had even eaten like everything. I think we'd even like just paid for the check, and I ended up puking all over the floor. So, whoops. Not one of my finer moments. But like, what do you do in that situation? I think we just left. I don't think I told anybody. I just remember feeling really dizzy, and then bleh, it just all came out, and I was like, oh fuck. Like, all the food that I had just ate. Yeah, not one of my prouder moments. I don't know where that cut off. did we finish the IHOP story? The next story is Drake's birthday party. So, I've been to a couple of Drake's parties. One of them was an after party for, I don't know, him and Big Sean were at a club and we got invited to an after party at the Aria Sky Suites. And then another one was at the Mansions at MGM, which I didn't even know existed. That was really cool. It was like a whole kind of scavenger hunt thing, like getting to the party. Those parties are weird. Like, I'm not gonna say much about it just because, like, I don't want like Drake fans coming after me or like Drake Drizzy himself coming after me, but they're just, it's really weird like going to those parties just because like everybody is focused on him, you know? Like everybody's attention is always like they want to pretend that they're having fun. Hey, yeah, like drinking, but they're really actually focused on what's going on over there and what he's doing and who he's talking to. And, you know, it just, like, nobody is actually, like, enjoying themselves, you know? I remember, like, I was trying to get a drink from the bar and, like, there was a lot of dudes there. Like, well, there was a lot of girls there too, but the dudes are just surrounding the bar. And it was just really weird because I'm like, can I get a drink or something? Like, what's going on? And I'm like sitting on the back of a couch, you know, like waiting, like trying to get a drink and whatever. And there's this like random girl sitting next to me and she's like chewing her gum, like, and I turn and look at her and she goes, "This is fucking dumb." And I'm like, dude, yeah, I know. And she's like, "I think I'm gonna go." I'm like, yeah, me too. Like, it's like not fun. And I remember when I was leaving, we were like walking through the crowd, and of course like Drake is like off in the corner, but there's like this big crowd kind of like, I mean, he's by the DJ, so there's like the crowd is kind of surrounding him, but then they're also like dancing and whatever. And so we're walking through the crowd trying to get to the front door, and I remember this tiny little girl like came up to me and like tried to punk me or something like that. I don't know, it was so weird. And she put her chest out at me, and I just looked at her and I looked at my friend who was ahead of me and she's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "I have no idea." And I just kept walking because it was like so random. I'm like, "Who are you? Like, what's going on?" The way people act around celebrities is just so odd. It's like he's a person, he puts his pants on one leg at a time, he poops just like you do. Like, I don't know, it's just, yeah, the way people act around people like that, it's just like, chill out, dude. Yeah, and it's not like I know Drake personally, so it's like, why am I here? I'm just like not having fun. There's too many girls here, there's too many dudes surrounding the bar. Like, it's just fucking, it's just weird. So yeah, we ended up leaving and we were like, I never went again. I got invited to a couple more parties after that, and I was just like, nah, I'm good on that. So yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up my story time. I know I have a lot more crazy nights out that I just can't think of right now. You know, it's easier when you have like a friend with you who is like there and experienced it and lived it, so you can kind of like you know, pop off and talk about things. But yeah, that was my experience. I've lived in Vegas for 11 years, so I have 11 years of stories that I'm sure I could pull out somewhere, but I just can't think of them at the moment. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. Like, I don't even know where that cut off. Hopefully I got all of the IHOP story and the Drake story and everything, but if you made it this far, please leave a heart emoji, and I will talk to you in my next video. Love you, bye. Excuse me, gosh, I'm so burpy. I'm sorry, I'm so gassy. Oh my gosh, I got powder all over my dress. Whatever.